Hello and welcome back to Ops with Void. I'm your host Forgotten Void, and today we will be showcasing not the Hakuryu. I'm sorry, we will be showcasing a carrier, but not the Hakuryu. We're showcasing the Sekiryu. So we're going to be showcasing the Sekiryu on the PTS server because the two things. One, using super ships in ops is difficult, and it's not impossible to win. It just requires more coordination and better tactics to actually be able to do well in these ops. It's not you're just going to run in and you can gun everything down. Second is, I saw that you have a Harugumo and a half strapped to each side of Sekiryu, and let's see. I said, what can we do? What can we do with this? So if you put the secondary modules, concealment and secondary modules, the bombs are there because if you want to bomb anything, you need more HP. Otherwise, it's basic carrier stuff. You put those on there. And then you go to the skills and you throw in defensive fire expert for the extra 20%. You have 11 kilometers of range. You throw in the skills, the skill in the slot 6, and you have 2.1 second reload time. And because these are Japanese 100mm guns, they start with the base of 30mm penetration. You put on the two flags, and now you goes from 6 to 7% chance of setting a fire on. So you have 7% chance of setting fires. That's only from bombs and rockets, so that doesn't do anything. That's why we didn't do this. That we did Hidden Menace because this detectability. The proximity fuse for torps because you want your torps to go in, air supremacy for air preparation, and then these are our survivability skills for planes, which doesn't really help all that much, and you'll see why in the game. And these are the flag signals we're doing because we can. We have so many of them. We have the secondary signal. This brings us from a 10.5 to 11 kilometers range, which is necessary because we have the 11.9 kilometer, so that we have a 9 kilometer wiggle room between when we're detected and our guns start firing. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into battle. So one thing I noticed on the PTS is you actually have 45 seconds before the battle starts instead of 30. So that's one thing that I noticed different. Two, having super ships on your team really increases your the enemy's HP. So you'll see Raptor go from 44 to 90. So pretty much everything is double HP. And since we have 4 super ships, Annapolis, Hanover, and Bane, and me. And then Untamed and Vader, they decided to go with G-Non because they wanted to throw out torps. So we're going ahead and putting up a little bit. I'm deciding which plane I want to use, and we're going to use the bombers. Because this is how I normally... So normally, when I play carrier, in tier 8 or lower, during the tier 6, the tier 8, you would go ahead, throw out your planes so you can spot the first destroyer. However, that's in Harugumo. That has a lot of AA. And we're trying to dodge, and we get caught by flak because we have a huge squad. And then Azuma and Hizen, that's a lot of flak. It just took out our entire squad. And so as you notice, I only get 1 bomb off. I lose pretty much the entire squad because of how heavy the AA is. This is kind of a theme. Because the enemy AA also scales to, and the AA damage scales to the planes. So we're going to go ahead and drop those and swing back, and we get nice 6k off that Izuma. But the AA scales, and this is really big because this means that super carriers in themselves aren't going to be able to do much damage because your planes are going to take a lot of damage, and you're going to run out of planes quickly. Possibly the tier 10 Nakimov might actually be decent, but your other carriers, not really. And so that's kind of why I built into secondaries, because I'm like, I'm going to lose planes, I'm going to use planes, but I'm going to lose planes. So you might as well see what the secondaries can do, especially since they are the 100mm that reload fast and have the good range. It just so happens that my teammates brought Jinan. We weren't thinking about this at all. We weren't at all thinking about a kind of combination with the two. At least not until midway through the battle, and you'll see what I mean then. So here I'm trying to use the range of the torpedoes to be able to use my torpedoes. And if you hear cracks of thunder, I'm not sure if they will hear anything, but there is a thunderstorm outside right now as I'm recording this. It was nice and clear earlier this morning. I bring those 8 planes back because I realize I have rocket planes. And we're going to change our... Not rocket planes. Well, I do have rocket planes. I have jet rocket planes. One thing I don't like is that the sound is much lower. The jets in real life are so much louder than prop planes. Oh, so much louder than prop planes. There's a reason why they say the scream of the jet and the drone of a prop plane. It's because prop planes are much quieter. So here I'm aiming like I would like the normal, because the normal prop planes, the rockets, you have to shoot. They shoot the machine guns, whereas those have the really quick. And I forgot they're almost instantaneously shooting the rockets. And as you see, our Genons doing the what Genons do best, flooding an area with torpedoes. And you notice the Clausewitz just wrecks that squad of planes. And this is why I was expecting my planes to go away. I mean, the one good thing about super carriers is you're always going to have planes because of those the tactical squads. But this is the other reason why I went for a secondary build. It's actually pretty loud outside right now. I actually can't see outside my window. Normally I can see outside my window, but the rain's so heavy. I guess typhoon should be hitting today, tomorrow-ish. Probably one of the arms of the typhoon. Anyways, so we are using our jet planes because if we lose them, it's fine. And we're going after this Haku. We're going to try and use the 6-kilometer range of the torpedoes to our advantage. And we're dropping them. But I think my torpedoes are a little bit faster than I expect. So we're going to do the same thing with the normal torpedoes. But first we're going to drop fighters because I guess the main and the Kurfürst are fine. We're going to drop fighters just in case. because the planes will do lots of damage to our ships. This is the pre-drop. This is one of the things to reduce the number of planes you're going to lose. And so as you can see, we're starting at like 9 kilometers out to aim in. I want to drop, and we actually had a much tighter reticle than seen. But with all of those, yeah, all those, you have a Azuma. Is that a Kitakaze? Azuma, Kitakaze, and Haku. It's a lot of 100mm guns there. And on IJN ships, 100mm are actually the scary AA guns. They're also scary secondaries. So you see here, I'm moving to get in here, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll send the rocket planes to the carrier. Not with the Kitakaze there. And then, oh, there's the Yugumo. And the rocket planes are dead. So that was a waste of rocket planes. I mean, I guess they did do some scouting, and now my secondaries are pummeling the Yugumo. So I'm more or less using this rock as a shield between the Satsuma and the other battleships. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to turn away. So I locked my rudder into full turn and pushing forward. And it just so happens that one of my div mates has a smoke screen right where I'm going to be headed. So you see, we lost most of the squad there. Lost half the squad before we even dropped the bombs. But we get 3 citadels for it. Nice 20k off that Azuma. And now we are within smoke. So since we're in smoke, we have 2 kilometer detection, even though we're firing guns. And we get our first secondary kill. So now I'm going to go into full reverse so I can actually use these smoke while my div mates are dropping torpedoes. All the torpedoes. And the an Untamed drops a second smoke, right? Perfect for me. And we're gonna throw these torps at the battleships. The one thing about the rockets planes is they are slow to turn. So we're going to try and get them into position. Try and avoid the Yoshino. Turning around. And then we're going to drop them a little bit far away so I can actually try and drop all 4 torpedoes. That actually gives us a wide spread so we can maybe hit a torp or 2 across the entire battleship line. And now we're going to go into full forward. And somehow, with that spread, we miss all 4 torpedoes. But our secondaries are going. And these rockets actually get a few penetrations there. And here comes Vader to the rescue, setting up a new smoke. while he's launching his torpedoes. He only launches one side because one of the launches on that side was damaged, and so the reload was reset. So you see the other torpedoes coming off behind my ship. And so I just sit here and I'm throwing out secondaries because I can. And my friends in their smoke cruisers, we just did this on the fly because it was what made sense at the time. So here I'm aiming at the Izumo. I think the Izumo turns in right as I launch those torps, so those torps are going to miss. But these torps on the Yoshino, however, I'm going to make sure I hit these torps. Yep, there we go. 2 torp hits on the Yoshino for 16,000 damage. So if I was better at torps, I'd probably actually have more damage, but I keep losing those torps. Misleading. I haven't actually played my Hakuryu or Sekiryu in a while, so that's another thing. I'm not used to all the armaments. I need to get back into being used to them. Like not being fully aimed, but still getting 2 citadels there. That's something that IJN ships can do. So here, what we're going to do is we are going to actually turn around. So I'm using Vader and the Annapolis as shield because bots will shoot at something closer instead of shooting at a carrier. And now we're going to turn in. I think Vader is going to go to the bottom, but I just set up a waypoint for the south of the map because we still haven't got the carrier. I misclicked. I didn't want to send out bombs. I wanted to send out the jet planes. So Vader's clicking where they spawn south, but actually they spawn here and here where the teleport spawns do. And since we have only lost one ship, only one of them will spawn at a time. A nice 8K off that carrier. And now we're going to do rocket planes. Not rocket planes, sorry. Jet torpedo bombers, which are actually pretty bad to use in real life because torpedoes need to be going at a certain speed in order for them to not explode when they hit the water. So there's a reason why torpedo bombers were jet torpedo bombers stopped being a thing. I mean, now you do have airdropped torpedoes, but they are dropped more like a bomb, and they're usually they have a lot more. They're a lot more complicated now, because you drop them like a bomb, and then they'll right themselves and then home in on their target, rather than being dumb fire, which at this point in time, most of the airdrops, all of the airdrops were dumb fire. So I want to get the Hakuryu, but unfortunately, between me and the Haku, there's a Kitakaze. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to drop the Kitakaze. And I don't have to worry about torps from the Clausewitz because they are quintuples. So that means they're not going to reload in time. And so I'm just sitting here farming secondary hits on the teleport spawns as I try for the carrier. but no one has range for the carrier, since 2 of our battleships are dead. And those would be the people who would actually be able to take out the carrier. And so this is a win. It's a 4-star win, but it is a win. And so there's the loss of the star for taking care of the carrier. This is 560 secondary hits. 14 fires, mostly from the secondaries. 28 planes shot, 30 planes shot down total. 29 rocket hits, 6 bomb hits, with 5 of them being Citadels. So even though we lost a lot of our bombs, when they hit hard. And then 7 torpedo hits. Only 1 destroyed, and that was from a secondary. Team score, carrier is usually lower on the board, so this is average. This is actually standard for a carrier, even in modern ops, like the before the tier 8 high ops. So that's standard, nothing surprising, except we did a total of 110, about a little under 110,000 damage with aircraft. And then if all these fires were started from the secondaries, that is 200 and nearly 240,000 damage from secondaries. Over 230,000 damage. So over double our damage was done from secondaries than it was done from aircraft. So it's kind of why I went secondary. Well, okay. I didn't expect it to be that different, but I did expect the AA to be very hard to get through. And so if the carriers are reworked, then main gunning carriers with someone who's going to smoke you up might actually be better. Especially when you have 100 millimeter IJN guns that pen 30 millimeters on each side. And so you can do what Azuma, we did 3 bombs for 20k, and then 80 secondary hits for 26k. Satsuma there, 51k from fires and 20k from secondaries, which actually means 71k from secondaries. Clausewitz, another 36k from secondaries. Yoshino there, that's okay, that's actually aircraft there with 30k. Secondaries didn't hit much. Yoshino that lived, 20k from secondaries. The Haku there, that's another that's actually there. Fire from rockets, 2k, and then another 21k from planes. But as you can see, most of our damage just came from secondaries. Maybe a torpedo here and there. Mostly secondaries. So, the other thing I want to give with this is a cautionary tale. Do not expect standard tactics to work when you are running operations. They will, and when they come out, they will not be easy. They probably won't be as hard as what you see here, but they won't be easy. So approach them with caution, and most of all, have fun. That, I do hope to see you again for next week's video. Have a good one.